Ladies and gentlemen, the Awakening the Rebellion 2.11 Jump to Hyperspace update has been released, and with it comes 12 pages of patch notes worth of new features and bug fixes and all sorts of great things. Now, before we hop into the patch notes that I'm going to read over in this video, let's go ahead and talk about what has been done to the mod. So, submods for 2.11 are not quite ready yet. They will be ready in a few, probably weeks, I would assume. And once they are done, I'll probably make like a quick community post or something and let y'all know that those are ready. And if you are wanting to continue your 2.10 campaign, you can continue your 2.10 campaign as the developers have released a separate workshop item together for that. And it also includes some fixes for the 64-bit patch update that Petroglyph had. So if you recently were playing 2.10 since that Petroglyph update, it broke a couple of things, like the Tsar mission was basically unwinnable, and a few other things that they did bother to fix in that 2.10 separate release. Now, let's go ahead and hop into 2.11's patch notes. We're just going to quickly read through this in this video, and then in my future videos, I'll probably start a campaign and cover all sorts of other things. So right here, we have 12 pages of patch notes for this massive Big Chungus update. Here we go. Added a new grand campaign layout. So that's obviously the biggest part of this update, right? The whole point of this update was the Big Chungus Grand Campaign. So overall, there are 190 planets. That is insane. 190 planets. Yeah, he's a Big Chungus. So that is a new Grand Campaign where there are 190 planets. With that comes tons of new planet abilities, which is really, really fun. That's really something I was really looking forward to. And I was scared that they weren't going to put in a whole bunch of new planet abilities, and it looks like they have. We got Rebel versus Empire variant of the Big Chungus with Black Sun as a minor faction. So if you're not a big fan of the corruption and a whole bunch of Black Sun features, then you can do this variant where there's just mostly Rebels versus Empire, which I really like. We have features an additional 3 playout random start version, which is another campaign that you can choose to play as, where you'll start with 3 planets per faction, I believe, and then you can kind of capture a bunch of planets like that. It's a really fun version if you've never tried that. We have the canonical hyperspace lanes. Major hyperspace lanes move your fleets extremely quickly and provide increased income. These are vital to being able to move your fleets across the galaxy. And then it lists off the 6 different hyperspace lanes. So now, a few different mods used to have this, where they had major hyperspace lanes. If you control a portion of this hyperspace lane, or even the whole thing, which is unlikely at the beginning, obviously, your troops will move way, way, way faster through these major hyperspace lanes, and they also provide you with a decent amount of extra income as well. So capturing these hyperspace lanes and holding them as much as you can will definitely help you. We have a taste of some new special features for planets. You got some buildable units on certain other planets, which is nice. We've got the Rebel infrastructure rework. Supply depots are now additional buildings, not upgrades. Wow, that's going to be a huge, huge help for Rebels and defending their ground planets, as well as just generating more income. Supply depots income was lowered. Okay, that makes sense. So, and manufacturing base income was also lowered. So because they decided to make supply depots more available, they have also lowered how much income they provide. Factories now upgrade independently from main building and require specific planets to go to medium and heavy, similar to how the Empire factories work. Okay, so Rebels now are going to have less medium and heavy factories, and they upgrade independently. I believe that means you can have a medium and a heavy vehicle factory both on one planet, so you can produce more units. That's pretty interesting. That's kind of like how most mods are on vanilla is, I believe, as well. We've got Alliance HQs and Alliance bases grant a construction price reduction for supply depots for factories. Okay, that's a small detail. Alliance command centers now require an Alliance HQ or base to be constructed. Okay. Minor faction infrastructure rework. All minor factions now have a barracks and factories to produce units. Cool. Campaign selection, screen formatting, and reorganization. So it looks like they reorganized like the title screen for campaign selections. It's a little bit easier to follow now, which is nice. Filters can be now used while paused. Ooh, that's a really nice feature. So you don't have to worry about unpausing to select the filters. That's nice. Build limits now instantly come into effect when build limit unit is queued up. Okay, so this is one of those features where, say you had like Sith Inquisitors and you can only build 3 of them. I think you could build 5, but say you can only build 3 of them. You could queue up, because you can queue up 5 units at a time, you could queue up 5 different Sith Inquisitors, and you would build all 5. It would cost you all 5, but it would only build 3 of them. So that's looks like that's been fixed. So if you can only build three units, you can only actually build 3, which is nice. An R can now build an airfield building. Well, that's pretty cool. That's a typo right there. Made rebel infiltrators be in a build limit group. You can now build only 10 total infiltrator companies at a time. Wow, that's pretty cool that they managed to do that. So it looks like because the rebels have so many diverse units of infiltrators, there's like, what, 6, maybe 8 of them? It looks like you can have a total of 10 of those 8 or 6 different infiltrator groups. That's nice. An independent white color faction has been added that represents a local planetary defense organization. The Pirates, now orange color, faction represents a local pirate group. Both factions are inactive in Galactic Conquest but have themed buildings, starbases, and units in their rosters that are more in line with the theme of each faction. So basically, because there's 190 new planets, there are going to be more unique factions, more independent factions. We'll get into those new units down here, but like there's Zygerians now, there's Hapes now, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of those are independent controlled planets. Made independent pirates able to remove corruption. Okay, cool, that's nice. New units. Ooh, new units. This is what I really want to see. Here we go. We got some Hapen Stella Frigate. We've got the Champion Speeder. We got Nemoidian Guards. Anguilish Indigenous. Grand Indigenous. Falleen Indigenous. Nikto Indigenous. Clatoonian Indigenous. Weequay Indigenous. Mimbanese Indigenous. Pike Indigenous. And then some more Pike Elite Soldiers, which is cool. They are buildable from Obadiah. From Black Sun, or for the Black Sun, sorry. We've got Zygerian Guards, which is cool. Buildable from Zygeria for the Black Sun. We've got Warhounds for Bel Iblis. Oh, so I guess maybe Bel Iblis can build Warhounds now. That's cool. And then we've got the Gargantuan has been added as Amphista battle platform to the Hapes. So it looks like we've got some new Hapen units. And then as you can see, these 6 or 7 units are all indigenous. So that means they are the militia for those planets. And it doesn't look like they can be built, I don't think. I think the buildable ones are the Pikes and the Zygerians. So overall, mostly looking at new militia, which is not a surprise. With 190 planets now, I shouldn't say new planets, but now planets, there's got to be more indigenous peoples on those planets, which is really, really cool. And we do have some new units. We got a few new units right here, and then some new Black Sun units, which is cool. And then looks like we got Warhounds as well. I'm curious to see what those guys are. Ground hostile raid mechanic. Ooh, let's see what this is about. Added a second type of pirate hostile base that has a loadout closer to the independent main base. Made the current pirate outpost the same loadout as the Black Sun. I think that's just talking about garrison units, maybe. Added a second. Yeah, I think that might be just talking about garrison units, but I might be wrong. They will spawn instantly without a proximity trigger, and the AI is active for hostile units when spawned this way. Made the Merc Outfitter and secondary capturable buildables, or factories, have a chance to spawn as hostile and instantly spawn their stuff. So you can also get hostile droids, vehicles, and mercenaries. That should also make it a risk to go for these structures, because they aren't always a guaranteed neutral. That's interesting. So I don't really understand what these two things are talking about right here, this top two. But this is those mercenary buildings and like the droid factories. Say you send, one, what's the word? Tauntaun. Like say you send a rebel Tauntaun over there just to capture them, so you can get the droids or build some mercenaries. Sometimes they might turn to be evil, and then they'll kill your Tauntaun, and you're going to be sad because you lost your Tauntaun. Made all space units Death Star killers. So winning any space battle with any unit against the Death Star results in it being destroyed. That's really nice. Just a quick fix to a problem that was having. Optimize the following infantry rigs to reduce lag and crashing: Death Trooper, Stormtrooper, or Storm Commando, Scout Trooper, Pirate Soldier, Pirate Rifleman, BS Enforcer. Gotta love less crashes. Added Clatoonians and Niktos to gangster platoons. Added Clatoonian, Nikto, Weequay companies for random pirate spawns. added highlights to planets with active missions. Okay, let's talk about these top two. These top two are, in your gangster platoons, you now have more diverse soldiers within those. Now, if that's just a appearance thing, it doesn't affect the gameplay at all, but it does make the game overall more beautiful to watch, as there's more diverse soldiers within all of these pirate squads and gangster platoons. This was released in the trailer. With 190 planets now in the campaign, it's going to be hard to find a planet that has a mission. Now, because of this new feature, there are icons popping up above that planet, so it's much easier to find the planet that has the mission on. Add an icon to planets with imprisoned heroes, same thing as the top one. If you are missing a hero and you have to take on a planet in order to rescue them, there will be a icon above that planet showing you where he is. Very, very nice. Made hero rescue prefer to choose planet of faction that killed the hero. I know they were trying to do a few different things with this, but now when you lose a hero, as it says, the faction that killed that hero will more likely be the faction that you have to take on in order to rescue that hero. Rebel infantry rework. All models now use attachable weapons and other attachments. Okay, cool. Sec Force and Alliance and Spec Force now look distinct. Militia also now look distinct. Added Onderon Militia, that's cool. New weapon for the Rebel soldiers, Heavy Tracker 16, Model G8, LRB, and some other stuff. New models for New Republic troopers. So, we talked about this in my previous video. They reworked the looks of all Rebel forces, from Militia to Sec Force, Spec Force, Alliance, all of them. They now look completely distinct. That was a problem we had in the last updates, I guess you could say, is that they all kind of look the same. They all look professional. They all had the same gear and the same outfits and stuff. Now, your Militia and your Sec Force, the lower tier units, will look like they just joined the rebellion with whatever they had, and now your Spec Force, your higher tier units, will look very professional. They'll have all the same outfit on, they'll have all helmets and all the nice weapons. So now basically this Rebel rework has really greatly affected how they look in a positive way. New models for New Republic troopers, yes. Let's see, made models of boat cruisers, twin blades, AAF, Raider, Corvette, Heavy Corellian gunship look better. Once again, gotta love it when they make the mod look better. New guides, GC factions, GC planets, GC corruption, ground rolls, ground movement, shown armors, ground weapons. I've never actually really done these guides, so I'm wondering how effective they are. I'm pretty sure they are effective, especially now that they updated them. New splash screen, cool. Wow, we are barely even in this update right here. Let's see here. Hostiles able to capture build pads and landing zones, cool. Adding text for hero companies that spawn in a ground transport. Adjust text for campaigns. Yada yada yada. Story changes. Oh, here we go, baby. New Black Sun story mission for Hut mission. If you or the Hutt's own no buffer planets, then the Hut mission fails, and now Hutta is switched to Empire, a small chance for any other buffer planet to turn Empire. Win condition is, you're the Hutts control all buffer planets, and all Hutt territory is switched to you, even ones outside the buffer zone. You gain access to Durga and the Hutt tech branch. That's awesome. It kind of doesn't really explain what the mission and the story is, but it explains kind of what's going on with the Hutts. That's really, really, really cool. I'm excited to hop in here and play through the Hutt storyline. Added an extra story event to the Empire Hoth mission, where we'll try and place an ion cannon and power generator if it doesn't exist on Hoth before you invade it. That's cool. I would love to see them also have, like, I don't know, maybe more stuff in space over Hoth, so where the ion cannon can actually do something. But that's pretty cool. Reactivated the Coruscant Corellia Kuat missions for NR and polished the dialogues. Cool. New NR era advancement dialogue that displays all locked units. Changing the intervention wait time. So it looks like you'll be able to retry your intervention missions more quickly. That's nice. The salvage unit mission will appear more frequently. Rebalance the rewards for random missions so you can get support level plays a much larger factor into the stuff that you'll get. That's cool. So as you progress through your support level and it grows, your rewards will also grow. I just went country on you all for a second there. Adjust the planets to conquer the Moncala buffer zone in Grand Campaign. Okay, that's nice. Looks like that'll still be a mission in the Big Chungus campaign, which is cool. And as a result, they changed which planets you have to conquer. Added reference to the space tech in the Sullust Liberation Story mission. And cool. Balanced updates. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Fixed Quran not spawning after the battle if the player was able to rescue him. That's cool. Balanced updates GC. So here we go. We got the balance. Obviously, AOTR is known for their really well balanced game. I'm going to kind of fly through this a little bit. We got some balance updates, some balance. I don't see anything major. Lowered the cost of heavy curling gunship by 1,000. That's pretty good. Increased the price and the build times of level 1 infiltrators and all infiltrators. Looks like IG-88 isn't quite as powerful as it used to be. Acclimator cruiser refits now get bombardments. PS Executor upgrade now requires Warship Tech 3. That was weird that they didn't require this to be Tech 2. Because you could build an Executor and a Bellator both at Tech 2. It was like, why is that the case? Added new global manufacture abilities to these 4 planets. That's cool. I wonder if those are the new planet abilities or if that's just a change. Balanced update space. No more astromech for Z95s. That's going to greatly weaken the abilities of Z95. Low-key Z95s were really, really strong. Make all Hapen units use anti-turbo shield. Okay. Adjusted the carrier loadouts. I just completely butchered that. Gladiators now have 1 TIE bomber and 2 TIE brutes. Okay. Tonfolks are way better than they used to be. That's cool. Quasars are also cool as well. Now they're more directly anti-fighters. Liberator has also changed. So we got some major loadout changes when it comes to the units that we use for their loadouts. Like, come on, Gladiators and Liberators were pretty much only used for their loadouts as well as their diverse weapons. Let's see what this says. Removed all carrier variants to reduce AI spam of carriers. Okay, so this is the only carriers. These are the only Quasars and Tonfolks we get now. I don't know how I feel about that. I understand what they're saying here. The AI used to spam carriers all the time, but now you have 0 bomber Quasars, you have 0 bomber Tonfolks. Not that there was one, but I don't know. I like that overall. I think that's a good thing overall, but I hope maybe one day we'll get a bomber Quasar back. Multiple variants would cause AI to pick these more often than they should. Bomber variants and elite fighter variants were causing more harm than good to the game balance and were also too flexible. Each carrier now has a more defined role in what it can bring to the battle. Overall, like I said, I think this is a good thing. I think overall, if you need the bombers so desperately, you can just build the bombers separate, and you still have bombers on the Tonfolk. I like this. I like this overall. This will be really, really helpful for just having to face so many enemy Quasars and Tonfolks especially. We have increased interdiction ability active time for 200 for small units and 400 for large units. That's cool. And then we got some other stuff. Significantly lower the damage, increased by ion storms. Cool. Balanced updates on the ground side. We're going to quickly go through this. Okay, so real quick, let's see. Yeah, ground aircraft balance changes. This was a pretty major balance change. They changed aircraft armor and shield. Shield now anti-heavy and fast recharging on flyers. Armor similar to light vehicles. Aircrafts should now bank more aggressively, which should make them look a lot cooler. Airspeeders have a tighter turn radius, with ground aircraft should have higher speeds. Let's see here. Adding more applicable units to the tow cable ability. Ooh, that's cool. So you're going to be able to tow cable more stuff. I always liked how they had it as AT-ATs and the Black Sun artillery units, the big walkers. You could do those guys as well. I wonder what all they added to this. I feel like we're going to be testing that pretty soon. There's going to be people trying to tow cable everything from an AT-DP to an AT-ST over here. That's funny. Adding a passive script on aircraft to keep them moving if they have a target. That's good. Because for some reason, air units on ground would always just stop. I don't know why they would just stop like that. So yeah, pretty big changes to the aircraft. I believe they got nerfed as a whole, but it looks like they actually fixed some stuff too, which might buff them as well. Yay, Tauntaun turns faster. Love that. Just some more stuff. You can read through this if you'd like. Map changes. I don't want this video to be too long. Map changes. Map change. Lots of changes. All sorts of changes. Kind of reading through this. Kessel added defender aligned pikes. Okay. Okay, so now on Kessel, if you're the defender, you have pikes militia, which is cool. I like that. That's cool. Space adjustments. Yay, Camino, fix the stars in the background. Okay, that's interesting. Bug fixes. All sorts of bug fixes. And, oh, here we go, the AI updates. So they got a lot of bug fixes. You can read that as well if you'd like. AI updates. The AI is obviously, once again, just going to be so much better than it always has been in the past. I'm curious to see what's going to happen. Lowered lost forces on auto-resolve. I might say that for a different episode. The developers kind of ran through what's going on with the auto-resolve and kind of how they're honestly just not going to try and fix it too much. The auto-resolve in this game is actually pretty good. It's a little overpowered in favor of the player. If you have like way more units than the enemy does, you can auto-resolve and basically lose nothing. And I don't think they plan on fixing that, so that's kind of what they said. This is good. This is really, really good. The AI will no longer just use IG-88 as Black Sun tech. That was a big problem for some reason in 2.10. They would pretty much only ever use IG-88. Looks like that's been addressed, hopefully fixed. Lots of balance, or what is this? AI changes. Yeah, like I said, AI updates are always nice. They always do a really good job with the AI in Awakening Rebellion, and I believe this update is going to make it even better, like by a decent amount. Skirmish, because of the new petroglyph update in the test build of 2.11, Skirmish was working. People were playing Skirmish, and they were getting decent matches in. So I'm very curious to see if Skirmish will be playable. And I think I'm going to definitely try and hop in and see if we can record some Skirmish battles. I'm going to have to dust off the skills a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. Added freighters to Skirmish, cool. Fixed AI, looks like. Fixed AI. Cool, so Skirmish is getting updated, and like I said, the most important part is Skirmish might actually be playable now. Big welcome, a few other things before we end this episode. Big welcome to our new teammates, Grimly, Kalani, and Big Caspers. Those are some testers, and I believe some developers as well. I know Grimly develops. I think Casper might too. Kalani I know is like a Discord guy, as well as a tester and stuff. It probably tells you right here. Grimly and Kalani are bringing their impressive modeling and texturing skills to help out with the project. You will start seeing their work in the mods soon. Very good. Love it. So Kalani is actually much more than what I just said he was. Big Casper is our newest coder, the first one for a long time. He's helping out with bug fixes and even some new features. Love that. Love being able to take on new people to help out with the speed of new updates, the development of the mod, how good it is. Love that. Other, added chest armor to the field troopers. N1 engine sounds, that's all it says, probably fixed / better. Maybe they just gave them unique engine sounds, which is cool. HTE texture now more neutral and less Republic. Fair enough. And some other stuff. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to get into the 2.11 update. I'm probably going to start a campaign pretty soon. It'll be out probably next week. Drop a comment on what faction you want to play. I have a faction I already am basically going to be choosing, but if you want to vote for a faction, go ahead. If you have any comments on what all this means, where you can find out more information about the new update, like I said, if you want to play the 2.10, there is a separate workshop thing in Steam, and you can go there to find that. What else? Join the AOTR Discord. It'll be linked in the description below. Join my Discord as well if you would like to discuss all things Awakening Rebellion. And be sure to subscribe if you are looking forward to more Awakening Rebellion videos.